Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about hockey, and I'm here to talk about Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. Lightning win 1-0, and they have won the Stanley Cup back-to-back. Wow. What a performance by Tampa. Their offense got the goal, and that's all they needed. Their defense was fantastic. A ton of blocked shots by Tampa tonight. Their defense, again, was infallible. Andrei Vasilevsky was immaculate. And they didn't make any mistakes. They played a fantastic game of hockey. Montreal did a really good job, too. They didn't play poorly. Don't take it like that. Tampa just played better, which was sort of the story for the whole Stanley Cup Final. Montreal didn't necessarily in any of the games play terrible, but they never played better than Tampa, except for Game 4 and debatably Game 2, but you know how that went. Tampa takes it. They take the cup. 5 games, dust their hands, and they get to go celebrate with Lord Stanley yet again. Now, there's really not that much to talk about in the game. You know, 1 goal really doesn't leave much to talk about. Unlike game, 3, which was 9 goals. So, early on in the game, it was madness, right? Tampa Bay was deafening. You couldn't barely hear the announcers on TV. And the crowd energy was electric. Because we have not seen a championship played in front of a packed house since the Super Bowl of 2019. The start of 2020. That was the last one where the Chiefs won. It's been a hot minute. And Tampa, their fans were there and they brought the energy, man. Early on, it was just going absurdly fast. It felt like every single player in that stadium, Lightning or Montreal, they were just flying up and down the ice, right? You guys ever play NHL 21 or any NHL game for that matter? You know how you never really get to settle in because all the characters are moving around like freaking chickens with their heads cut off? That's what this felt like. It just felt like I was playing NHL 21, where I'm just constantly moving. I never stopped to set up anything. I'm just moving around trying to find, oh my god, how can I score this goal? That's how the game felt. It was madness. It was high energy, high octane, which is, kind of what you want for this. I really wish the entire series were games like this because, man, oh man, that series could have went 7, and that would have been a heck of a series. Now, about halfway through the first period, Montreal had a power play, and it was horrific. It felt like they were trying to let Tampa score shorthanded. They were giving up the puck constantly near Carey Price. He was having to play incredible early on just to keep it from being a shorthanded goal, which is really not what you're looking for. And then that was really it for the first period. It was a super quick game. Second period happens. First half, it's just same deal. Flying up the ice, flying down it. Both teams looked fantastic. Carey Price brought his A-game. Andrei Vasilevsky also brought his A-game. They were looking great. And you had this feeling start to creep up on you that this is going to be a 1-0 game. This is going to be a game where whoever scores first is scoring last. And I kind of said out loud right before the Tampa Bay goal, this is going to be 1-0. Whoever scores is going to win. Right? This is not going to be I didn't even think it was going to be 2-1. Right? I honestly thought, this is going to be 1-0. One way or the other. Granted, I was right. I didn't say it to anyone, but I was right. So, about midway through the second period, the Lightning in the Montreal offensive zone, fighting for the puck along the boards. I can't tell. I think it was Stamkos kind of gets it over to Ryan McDonough. He takes it. He passes over to David Savard. He looks around, kind of moves back towards the net while skating backwards. And he puts it in front perfectly for Ross Colton. He just tips it in past Carey Price. What is he to do there? You can't do anything there except deal with the consequences. 1-0 Tampa. And again, you really just kind of felt that it was over at that point. Tampa played fantastic. Montreal played fantastic. But Tampa was just a touch better. And there's no real other way to put it. Feigning minutes of the third period, Gaudreau on defense just took an absolute slapper to like the upper thigh, and God, it looked real bad. Was kind of getting nudged off the ice by his teammates. It looked nasty. He would go back on the ice because, you know, it's the Stanley Cup final. Unless you have your head knocked off, you're going to continue to play hockey. And that was about it. Price got pulled at about the 2-minute point. I would have honestly pulled him a little bit earlier if I were Montreal. But that was it. Tampa Bay wins it on a incredible defensive performance. And I believe the 5th or 6th consecutive series clinching shutout for what I now know is the Conn Smythe winner, Andrei Vasilevsky, with an immaculate, fantastic performance tonight. Unreal, seriously. So now allow me to take a few minutes to praise each team, right? And just talk about their season that was. Starting with the runner-up, Montreal. There is not a darn thing in the world to be ashamed of, Montreal. You guys outperformed everyone's expectations. No one had you making the Stanley Cup. No one had you making the finals, or the semifinals. No one had you making really the second round, if I'm being honest with you. I don't even think I had them making it to 7 or 6. I thought it was going to be a 5-game series, and I thought Toronto was going to deal with you quickly. Down 3-1, it looked like everyone was going to be right. They come back, they fight, they win. Then you think, yeah, well, but Winnipeg, they're going to take their lunch money, right? They're going to beat them up behind the cafeteria. Nope. Montreal embarrasses them in not game 2, not game 3, but game 4, excuse me. Sweep, gone, dust your hands off, get out. Then you think, well, you know, it's Toronto and Winnipeg. Now they got to face a real team that isn't from Canada. Now they got to face the big bad Knights. And they don't stand a chance. And they completely, realistically, they ran Vegas' show for those 6 games, I believe it was. And they go on to the Stanley Cup. And you think, how? How did this happen? And granted, you lost in 5 games. That's a little bit twisted, right? Because I thought they played way better than a 4-1 series loss, right? They played great tonight. They played great in game 4. They won. I thought they had a great game 2 where they probably outplayed Tampa realistically, but started to fall apart towards the end. So they do not have a darn thing to be ashamed of. They had a great Stanley Cup playoff run. You know, you made it to the Stanley Cup finals. There are 29 other teams that would have killed to be where you are. You know? You did better than 29 other teams. And for a team that finished 18th in points overall, the fact that you guys made it to here is impressive as heck. You know? You look at the team that's built upon players, and I don't mean this as an insult, but past their prime vets and young, untapped potential in rookies. And you push teams to the brink. You beat teams. You go to Tampa. And you look pretty darn good. It reminded me a lot of the Predators series this year against Carolina, right? Where the Nashville Predators, they lost in 6 games. But they showed that the Hurricanes could bleed, right? They didn't beat them. But they showed, hey, this team is mortal, and we came to play. We belong here in the Stanley Cup playoff. We are a team that can do things. And that's really what I viewed Montreal as. They didn't win. They didn't kill the king. You know, they couldn't take down Tampa. They went for the crown. They didn't get it. But they made the king bleed. And to me, that's pretty darn impressive, right? They should not have made it past the first round, right? Hands up. Who had them making it anywhere past the first round? Not me. So, granted, I don't agree with one of the sentiments that there should be a parade for Montreal anyway because, hey, they made the Cup final. But making it here when a lot of people did not think you would even sniff this point is more than enough to gain my respect. And I am very impressed with your team. And granted, you have some tough questions in the offseason like, well, we were 3 games away from a Stanley Cup victory, so do we continue doing what we're doing, or do we think, hey, maybe we are a Stanley Cup playoff team and continue building for the now? But impressive run, Montreal. I have a lot of respect for you guys. All right. Enough with the second team. Tampa Bay. Champa Bay. What is there that I can say about the Tampa Bay Lightning that has not already been said or that is not already known? Pretty much nothing. You know everything. You know everything. This is the best team in hockey in the world right now. Best offense, best defense, a fantastic forecheck that they displayed in this series, and the best goaltender in Andrei Vasilevsky. What is there to say? You know everything. You know everything. They can't be stopped, right? They took the worst playoff series loss in the history of the NHL. I would say, personally, in the history of sports, right? Take it back to the beginning of the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, MLB. The worst series loss ever. Had the best season of all time, debatably, and you get swept by the Blue Jackets. Sorry to twist that knife, Tampa, but, you have this neat thing now called 2 rings in back-to-back years to soften the pain of that. And then you turn it around, right? Last year, and a lot of people detracted from it. It's a Mickey Mouse ring. The season shut down halfway through COVID, blah, 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 bubble. All the momentum changed. They still won. If anything, I view that more of a reputable one because there was no home field advantage for that. That was simply who is better in neutral locations. This season, not a full season, but 56 games is still enough to know what's going on. They still did a lot. They still showed, right? They faced teams with all sorts of momentum. First series, round 1, Battle of Florida. They take on the Panthers with, debatably, the Panthers' best regular season in franchise history, right? They roll in with momentum. And Tampa says, nope, gone, dealt with. Then, the Hurricanes, they roll in with maybe their best team in franchise history. Right, best coach in the NHL, Rod Brind'Amour. They roll in, they're fresh off 6 games where they dealt with the Preds. They roll in, hot stuff, gone, dealt with. Well, the Islanders, right? The Islanders, the feel-good story, right? The turnaround, dealt with, gone. Granted, it went 7. They deal with them, right? All of those series-clinching games, shutouts by Vasilevsky. Team with a lot of momentum rolling into the series. Montreal. Still doesn't matter. Game 5, Montreal rolls in with all the momentum from Game 4, overtime winner. Doesn't matter. Shutout. 1-0. Incredible defensive performance. Unbelievable goaltending by Andrei Vasilevsky, the Conn Smythe winner. What is there to say? My voice keeps cracking. What is there to say? They have concluded a fantastic 2-year run where a lot of people will say things like, but what about this and over the cap? The Blackhawks were over the cap in 2015 and no one cared. They called them geniuses, right? You win 2 rings. And everyone that is saying, they're Mickey Mouse rings, they're not legit. If your team won, you'd be singing a different tune, right? Do you know what I'd give for the Rangers to have won these 2 Stanley Cups? I wouldn't care. I would not give a single care in the world that they weren't full seasons or that the playoffs were weird or blah, 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 blah. They still did it, right? The playoffs, you can say what you will about the regular season. The playoffs don't change, right? They're still the best of 7 in the first round, the second round, the third round, and the fourth. And they won those series in both years. There's nothing I can add that's new. There's no takes I can give that are going to melt ice. They're the best team in the world right now. Over the cap or not. They are fantastic. And they showed that they are the best team on paper, and darn, they aren't the best team in actual play. They win back-to-back, which is a rare feat. And that's it. There's no more hockey until October, which sucks. But that's really all I have to say for tonight. Obviously, the Astros videos are going to continue as normal. Jets videos are probably going to start up pretty soon. And I'll be back with the Rangers in October, pending what they do in free agency and the off-season trading-wise. But this could be the last hockey video I make for a while. So that's all I have to say. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, even though it's still weird to say, go hockey.